Did you like it though? Did you?
Double
So,
tap.
What we looking like for your wide receivers, man? What's your top five wide receivers? I did this in this where you shine at wide receivers, man. You know, you be flag planting on wide receivers. I like that. Let's get busy.
I think Travis Etienne, Travis Hunter is the wide receiver one in the class. It's just we don't know if. Wait, is that debatable?
Uh, uh, not really. I mean, I have a higher prospect score on someone, but as far as if I had to choose one, it would be Travis Hunter.
Okay, it's just
I just look through it with a fantasy eye. That's the only reason
right,
why.
right, right. I got you. Yeah, for sure. Just as like a pure football player on the field playing wide receiver, I
Oh yeah,
think
best football player in the draft.
yeah, for sure. Right. Um, if okay, let's say the quarterbacks go top two, or Abdul Hunter, whatever. Right. The quarterbacks and Abdul Hunter go top two, and Travis Hunter goes to the Giants, and the GM says we're gonna play him at receiver. That's gonna be his primary position. Then like shit, he might be I don't know.
I ain't gonna feel the same way.
He might be the 101. I don't know. It depends.
Nah, because how you going? Oh, you think he gonna eclipse neighbors?
No, 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 no. So I think whatever Genty goes into, right? He'll
All right.
probably be the most valuable rookie. But I think once we start getting into year three and that second contract, I think it'll be more clear that if Travis Hunter is the wide receiver one in his class, it'll be more clear that he's a more valuable fantasy asset for Dynasty once we get to like year three, 4, 5.
Mm.
And
Which,
Genty's young too. He's not old, so it's not coming from that. It's just
which in my mind, if I had to gamble, I would gamble on him getting drafted as a cornerback. You know.
yeah. I mean, if I was a GM, let's say I needed both a wide receiver in the corner, I draft Travis Hunter and let him play both until he proves he can't.
Why not?
He's been doing this literally his
That
whole life.
makes too much sense to us. It
He's been
might be
doing this
more
whole life.
inconvenient to a team to have making sure he go to two different meetings and they
Right.
might have the meeting at the same time. I don't know. You
You
know,
got to figure it out. Right. Like if you're a coach or you're a GM and you know you have this type of talent, like you got to. I feel like a smart, innovative, flexible coach will figure it out. Okay, I got a player that's playing on both sides of the
not that
ball.
many innovative coaches in the NFL. They
They
are
not
old school,
for
traditional.
sure. I got but the DBs. They got to meet an hour before. I don't know what we got to figure some shit out. I don't know what it is, but we're gonna have to figure some shit out.
That makes sense
Oh,
to
I'm sorry.
us.
Can I curse? I can't curse.
Of
I'm sorry.
course.
Bad. Yeah, but I'm with you. If I had to pick one, let's say I didn't need any, but this is just the best player available. Let's say I didn't need a wide receiver and I didn't need a cornerback. This is the best player available. I'm probably gonna want him to play a cornerback, just because the talent at that position for it to be this level of talent. Like his talent is so high, and he's super. He's the kind of player where if the ball is up, like he feels like it's his. Having that type of mentality on defense is just very rare. Right, a lot of guys that have the mentality or the psychology where it's like you can't catch anything on me. That's different than having a mentality like, no, I'm the only one catching this, right? And I think you can have somebody that can turn over the ball like that. You might just avoid them altogether, and I think that's what you want. But we'll see. So, anywho, Travis Hunter would be my wide receiver one.
Don't.
Luther Burden and T Mac are in the same tier for me,
Okay.
but I think I'm edging. I'm giving the edge to Burden. I think I'm giving the edge to Burden. It's just like Burden has been the best player on the field almost every field he's been on since he was probably like 10 years old, and he's one of those. There's some guys who play slot wide receiver who play the slot primarily, and you're like, yeah, that's they they can't be productive at the boundary because they they either can't demonstrate the ability to win in contested catch situations often or frequently, or they can't separate, right? Or they don't have the size or long speed to handle the press or attract attention in the deep. But when you look at Luther Burden play, you're like, he can. That's not his. He don't have that issue, right? He's probably playing the slot because it's easier to get the ball, and you want your best player to have the ball. Um, but he's Justin Jefferson was the same way at LSU. Like when you playing next to Jamar Chase, it's like, okay, now you kind of relegated to the slot because it's easier for us to get you the ball and you're more of a threat here when we got this fucking speed demon over here, right? But then you see his traits and translates to the NFL. He can play on the boundary very well. I'm not saying Luther Burden is going to be Justin Jefferson, but let's not forget Justin Jefferson wasn't Justin Jefferson until he became Justin Jefferson, right? So at some point, you got to recognize, does this guy have the talent, the athleticism, the physical, like just the body to be able to play in all these different um, positions on the field throughout the entire game and still, have the traits like we talked about, right? The contested catchability, the route running, things like that. Does he have the capability to do those things? And I think almost any team he goes to, he's going to challenge for the wide receiver one. I just think I believe in his talent that much.
Yes, Burden.
Not challenge for the wide receiver one, but he's definitely going to challenge for a lot of targets. I'll say that.
Isn't he strictly a slot?
That's what I'm saying. Like he's been predominantly a slot player, but he has the traits, the athleticism, and the size to play anywhere. So it's just like, okay, do you have a slot? Do you have somebody that's as good as him in the slot? And if you do, which one of them can play the boundary better?
I don't know. Wherever he gonna take over that slot. That's me.
That's what
Go
you think.
ahead. I don't know where you got to go. It's me right here. Only a fool coach would do something stupid, you know.
Hold on. When you think of some of the best slot receivers in the NFL, who comes to mind? Probably Cooper Cup. I think he up there, right?
Which
Um,
I heard that he washed. But go ahead.
you think he's washed?
Hey, I heard my boy Matt Harmon talking about him, uh, and
Washed,
washed,
as in not the same
limited,
player he used to
limited.
be.
Not just the
Not
same
good
player he
anymore.
used to be. Washed as a player, like can only operate in certain formations. That kind of wash.
Okay, so let's say that it is true.
But I
Let
don't
me.
want you to get off. I don't want you to get off topic though.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll say this one thing. Let's say that it is true, and all of that. Then you want him in the slot, right? So even if
But that's the only way. The
if
only thing he can do.
right, so if Luther Burden comes there, you all right, Luther, you go to the boundary. We can our offense looks better when Cup is in the slot, and because you're more athletically gifted than dude. Did you know Lad McConkey had the fourth most receiving yards?
Nah.
I didn't know that.
Lad really surprised the hell out of me. Even though, I do my little predictor badges. I had under a note under saying that hey, if he does well, he should have earned this badge because I kept him out from earning the badge because it was I had to go off percentage rather than production numbers. And that's why he had missed out on a badge I would have gave him, and I should have went off percentage because it's Georgia. Of course, it's Georgia. Like, of course, the wide receiver not going to put up no numbers. I should have knew better. I should be owning more Lad McConkey, so that's my fault.
Wait, he put up numbers at UGA.
He ain't put up numbers like other wide receivers,
Right. Yeah.
but yeah.
Well, anyway, I think and not to get off track at all, man. I just you said whoever team he goes to, you think he just gonna have to man the slot there. And,
Just hold my beer. That's all I'm just saying. Hold my beer.
yeah, like I would agree if he goes to a team that hasn't already that doesn't have an already established slot wide receiver that's the best in the game. Right? Okay. CD Lamb.
You better not go to Seattle. Goddamn, how many slot receivers you want? Are
Right.
you gonna become the New York Giants? Or you
Yeah.
gonna become the New York Giants? All they do is want slot receivers. I don't know what's wrong with them people.
So, okay, a realistic example, because I think the Cowboys pick in the range that he might go in. CD Lamb plays a slot more than half the time. If I got to choose which one of them I'm putting on the boundary, it's CD Lamb.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, because CD Lamb could play wherever, so yeah.
Exactly.
I would
Exactly.
definitely do
Now,
that.
if he goes to the Lions,
And last season he played the slot 50%. So yeah.
yeah. So if he goes to the Lions, which I don't see happening, but if he goes to the Lions, then I'm not moving Amon-Ra out the slot. I'm not moving Amon-Ra out the slot, like or Lad McConkey. I'm not moving him out the slot. Right? If he goes to the Chargers, there's some players where you're just like, all right, I'm not moving them.
Which he shouldn't even. If I'm a team, I'm not picking him. Like I want him to be my St. Brown. I'm not picking him if I already got a St. Brown. It's just some things don't make sense to me when I see teams do certain things.
I don't know, dude. Like some of these guys have the talent, you know. Some of these guys have the talent, and it's just like just pick the best player and use their talent, right?
That
Like,
sounds good. That sounds great. And then you get a player like Keon Coleman and only want to use them on the outside. Like when you probably get the best out of him if he was a power slot. Like just saying, you know.
probably, but that I think that's gonna come down to who else you got, right? Like if they have a lot, they have some other players that are just better than the slot than he is. I think
Which means you probably shouldn't have drafted him.
he did good. Jeez,
Did he do good?
Yeah, for what they like, he had a lot to. It's. I don't think people understand how good Khalil Shakir is. Like he's still not getting the amount of targets he deserves. Like he has a lot to. Keon had a lot to sift through. I would have had Dalton Kincaid as the big slot. Really, that would have been me.
I mean, I wouldn't have drafted Keon Coleman in the first place.
Right.
Like it just is what it is. He wouldn't have
All
been
right,
the player I drafted him. Not
okay.
for that team anyway.
I think most of us have those three players as the wide receiver 1, 2, 3, right? If Hunter is considered a wide receiver. After that, it gets a little dicey. I'm letting you know right now. It's gonna sound hot takey, but it's not. It's just what I feel. Wide receiver 4, Matthew Golden. Wide receiver 5, I'm gonna get killed for this.
Obviously, it must be McMillan, right? Because you haven't said McMillan yet. No, you did say McMillan as the burden. Take that back. Who number 5 is? I don't think you will get killed, bro.
Elijah Badger. Elijah Badger.
My nigga.
I wasn't gonna bring it up.
What?
So I I had two different lists because I said
Okay.
if I say this other list, they're gonna think I'm crazy.
Okay.
So I said I'm just gonna go off the list where these people go get the draft capital because this other list people gonna think I look crazy. But if I go off of just my prospect score list,
Mm-hmm.
I just go off my prospect score list. Why Badger is my number 5?
Get out.
Why Badger is my number? And I'm like, why is nobody talking about this? I don't know if you see my tweet. I said the two
No.
players I guess I own more than everybody is Ricky White and Elijah Badger because no one talking about them.
Right.
I said I guess I own a lot of them no matter where they get drafted at because I got a high prospect score on. So
Sometimes you just take a shot on it,
now
like
my
it.
list is way thrown off than yours because Badger and I'm just going for my prospect score and because this don't really have the draft capital baked that much into it. Elijah Badger number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Higgins is my number 4.
Ooh.
The hot take is ain't stopping.
Ooh.
Number 3 is Luther Burton.
Okay.
Number 2, Travis Hunter.
Okay.
Who do you think my number 1 is?
Matthew Golden.
Nah, my number 1 is Trey Harris. Trey Harris is my number 1.
I don't hate that.
And this is just my list going off my prospect score. Now, if I was just looking at who's projected to currently get first and second round draft capital, because I only care about wide receivers that get first or second round draft capital. Elijah Badger wouldn't be on there because he's not projected to get
Mm-hmm.
it. Higgins, I don't think projected. He's been projected to get high third round draft capital. So he would be off there. So it would look more like Trey Harris, Travis Hunter, Luther Burden, Matthew Golden, than Tech McMillan. That's how it would look, the more realistic list.
Can you say that again? The
Trey
more.
Harris,
Yeah.
Hunter, Burden, Golden, and McMillan.
Okay. And where's Badger at?
What'd you say?
Where's Badger at?
I said that's the more realistic list for the people that's getting the first and second round draft capital.
Right. Right. And I'm asking, where's Badger at in your realistic list? He's not fifth anymore, right? So how
Oh,
far?
I don't know where he would be at because I told you, I don't draft wide receivers that don't get first and second round draft capital. I don't care where he at.
Wait, for real?
I don't care where.
All right, look. That's not true. I
I
know it's
I
not
don't
true.
know. I don't
I'm
draft
in
them.
leagues with you,
I,
bro.
I pick him off the waiver wire. I don't draft them.
Mm,
I pick him.
nah,
I would pick him off the waiver wire when somebody else don't draft him.
look. I've been in leagues with you. And some of the leagues we've been in together have 4, 5, 6 rounds. And I'm just like, that's a bit much for me. But at some point, you got to start drafting guys that you don't really care to draft, right? So even if you
Hold
get
up.
to round
Oh, well,
3
the only
and
problem
round 4 in
is
the dynasty draft,
the
you
one
still
dynasty
gotta,
league we've been in together. It wasn't a super flex. It was one quarterback. So it get crazy in those leagues. But
yeah.
I am
But that's
I
even more
like
of a
to
reason for
draft.
you to draft non-quarterbacks more, right?
I like to draft wide receivers that get first and second round draft capital, and I would draft running backs the rest of the time. I would take a shot on any running back the rest of the rounds before I draft a wide receiver that was drafted in the fourth, fifth, sixth. No,
Yeah,
nah. I'm not out here trying to search for the next Puka. I let somebody else take that shot. I'm not trying
right.
to search for him.
It happens every year, though, almost every year. But so look, I'm with you. I'm with you. But if I really believe in a wide receiver's talent and their situation, like the situation just makes a lot of sense for them, and I believe in their talent, and let's say they get like third or fourth round, I might pick them over the running backs I just think are going to be buried on the depth chart, right? Like, but I'm with you though. I'm with you.
There was a wide receiver that I kept tilting on. Like I'll put him if I had a deep roster, he was already on my roster. But from I'm in a lot of safe leagues, dynasty leagues, so they only have like 25, around 25 roster spots. So sometimes I'll pick them up. If I need to drop somebody, I drop them. You know that player that you don't
Yeah,
really want to drop.
yeah.
So you pick them up when you get a
Right,
chance.
right, right. Even though
Because
you're the only one who like them, yeah.
I really like this player, but he
Right.
ain't getting no draft capital, and that was Jalen Coker. That was Jalen Coker. Bro, I really love me some Jalen Coker, and I own him in a lot of leagues, but I'm mad that, I dropped him in some, and then he produced, and I wasn't able to pick him back up. It just is what it is.
Yeah, you win some, you lose one. Tell me something. Who's on your realistic list? Oh, you probably don't even got them on there. I have two questions for you though. Who, based on your list, who are you much higher than consensus, which I think you talked about a little bit. But who, and then the next question is, who are you much lower on?
So it's definitely Bajer. What is his name? Badger or Bajer? I don't know his name. It's definitely him.
Yeah, okay.
Because
And
nobody else is talking about him. I can't believe we came to a consensus.
it's us. Look at us.
Blows my mind,
Who'd have
but
thought? Look at
it's
us.
him and Ricky White. I'm very high on Ricky White, but I hear that it's something about his offense that made him get the numbers that he got.
Right.
So
People say the same thing about um like tennis, like
yeah, like
Big
Tennessee
12,
offense.
Big 12 offenses, Tennessee offense.
So that's the only thing about him, But as far as who I'm along, and of course it's Tech. I got Tech at what 6, 7, 8, 9. Like ninth. I'm not as high as him. I don't think unless he just in a situation where they force feed him the ball, I can't see him producing his first season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no, no. I mean, he had a chance to earn my
Confidence.
playmaker on superstar badge, but he ran a nick too slow to get it. And I was
Wait,
thinking about just give him the badge, but I don't like to just give players a badge if they don't earn it. So I just
you
no.
talk about Ted McMillan? Or
Yeah, I'm not talking about Tech McMillan. He ended up running on he ran a 4.53, and I usually put the .05 penalty for running it at the pro day. Because
no,
if
I think he ran a 4.48 at the pro.
nah, the final official time I got was the four
That's
five three.
that's what the penalty already added.
I'm telling you, like I'm not looking at player profile. I look at on Draft Scout for my score, and they gave him. That's why I was looking at player profile, and I was wondering why they didn't put the penalty on there yet.
I think that's the penalty, bro.
I'm
Because
well,
in draft out you get is
Draft
several.
Scout didn't give him that don't give out penalties. So that was the official time that
Yeah,
finally
bro.
came for
Look,
Draft Scout.
USA Today. McMillan delivered a time of 4.48 per Fox Sports. Jordan Schultz. Um,
That just depends on who reported that. They had multiple teams there that had different times. But what's the official
yeah,
time?
there's
What
no
is the
official time.
official time?
There's no official time in pro days. Like
Well, they
they'll
always, I always go by Draft Scout time. They always got to give me official time on Draft Scout.
but even then, it's still like whoever's putting that in there or whoever's putting that in there is getting it from somebody, right? Like,
So
look,
so
I don't care.
that's why in
I
my
don't
mouth like I want to give it to him, but then he's the same guy that didn't run at the combine. So I don't want to give you to it. I don't want to give anybody that didn't want to show up at the
here's the thing.
combine that
Here's the
was
thing.
healthy. I
Can I
don't
call
want to
you
give you
T?
nothing.
Can I call you
Huh?
T?
Yeah.
Can I call you T? All right.
I'm
Here's the
not
thing.
giving you nothing if you don't show up at the combine.
Look, what? I forget who it was. It might have been Daniel Jeremiah, but he said like, don't count it twice. Don't count it twice. Like we knew Trayvon Henderson was going to run fast. Like, we knew he was fast. We knew he was going to run fast. Don't whatever grade you had for him, don't give him a higher grade because he ran fast. Like that was already baked into your initial grade that you gave him. So don't count it twice. It's the same thing with the speed going opposite direction. Like no one thought T Mac was a speed burner. I don't think anyone thought he was going to come in at a 4.4. Like what? If he gets below a 4.6, yeah, like sub 4.6, 4.55, somewhere in that range. That's what I'm thinking he's running. And that's what I had him in my head. That's what he's going to run. And based on that, I still had him as wide receiver 2 or 3. Right. So it's like, I'm not going to count it. I'm not going to count the speed twice, you know?
Well, I didn't penalize him twice. He just didn't do what I needed him to do.
I hear you.
I was giving him the benefit of the doubt at first. He didn't do what I needed him to do.
Is he the wide receiver 3 for you?
No,
I
I
didn't.
said he the wide receiver 8.
Yeah, you
On a
overthink.
realistic list, he the wide receiver 5.
Yeah, you on the realistic ones, you're wide receiver 5. Got it.
Yeah. So I'm not. I won't own any Tech McMillan. I would not be drafting him anywhere because I doubt he fall to me. I would assume people will be drafting him at the 103, 104. So I won't own any Tech McMillan anywhere.
All right, so because Draft Scout doesn't penalize him, or we think that Draft
No,
Scout has.
I wasn't already high on him. I said he had a chance to earn one of my badges if he would have ran the search. I wasn't, even if I gave him that, he still would be the wide receiver 5. It wouldn't change. No. I'd give him 4. I would probably put him over. No. He would be tied with Golden. He would be tied with Golden if I give him that. So I still got him. I still got him as my 5, but he tied with Golden.
I don't.
Yeah, I'm not. I love this film, but I don't get caught up in that Mister Contested guy. I see a lot of them super good contested guys go and come or don't show up enough. I don't get caught up in them. I don't. So I ain't no biggie. But I love this film.
The I think the I'm gonna get dragged for this too, but I think being an elite separator is overrated. Yes, making a living through contested catches, it's a tough way to make a living. This is true. But thinking you finna go up against some of the best athletes in the world covering you and you finna get a substantial amount of separation majority of the time, it's just not gonna fucking happen. Right. So you have to be able to make those contested catches. And there's guys I think some of the best receivers in the NFL just aren't elite separators. And no one talks about it. Like Jamar Chase, not a separator, bro. But
You ready for a hot take, bro?
you can't do nothing with him.
You ready for a hot take?
I'm listening.
Give me the great value brand Tech McMillan over the real Tech McMillan.
Great value in this
Who
class.
you think in this class would be the great value brand Tech McMillan? Give me the lower one. I don't need to pay the extra price to get that one. Give me the lower brand.
Probably Jaden Higgins or Brew McCoy.
So give me Jaden Higgins. But who I was thinking about, because you already know I'm high on Jaden Higgins. I like Jaden Higgins more than I like him. So I'll go ahead. I'll take that all day. But who I was looking at, who I got
Like
next to
that.
him, who's faster, is Dante Thornton. Give me Dante Thornton. Give me
No,
Dante Thornton.
I'm super high on Thornton.
Give me Dante Thornton.
I'm super high on Thornton, but I think we doing a little too much with the 40. We doing a little too much with the 40.
I'm just saying, bro. Give me that man. Give me that
You,
man.
you and you told me that you don't put too much stock in the 40.
But all of a sudden, hey, the funny thing about it, this ain't even this not even including. I gave him a little bump for the 40, but it's not even it's not even that much. I like him. I just like him more than if he got the draft capital, which I'm guessing he's not, because I'm
No.
not hearing about it. Like if he got second round draft capital, give me him over Tech McMillan all day. Give it to
Um,
him.
if he has second round draft capital,
If he got second round draft capital, give me him.
I was a huge Dante Thornton fan. Like, trust me, I
And I don't
was
understand why people not talking about it because people love them some AD
4-3.
Mitchell, some AD Mitchell.
Yeah,
People love them some AD Mitchell.
yeah. Um, wasn't AD like 205 though? I forget it. I forget, but
But
he
why you saying that like oh boy not 205? He's 6'5", 205.
yeah. Being 6'5" and 205 is a lot skinnier, slimmer, wiry than being 6'2", 205.
Wasn't Mitchell like 6'3"?
Mitchell?
Wasn't AD Mitchell like 6'3"?
Oh, 6'2", 6'2", 205. Jumping out the gym. They both
Yeah,
phenomenal athletes. They're both phenomenal athletes. But one produced a lot more than the other one. It just is what it is.
but yeah. So
So I'm high. So the person I'm low on, I don't know. Well, I guess me and you are the same. Badger is the person I'm probably high on. But right after Badger for me, 6 is Trey Harris, which I thought I was high on him, and then think you came around. But then there's the guy I'm low on is Egbuka. A lot of people have him as number one or top five, and I just don't see it.
so
And then when he didn't run, I'm like, oh, come on, dude. Come on, dude. See, it's different if I don't think you fast. But then everyone's trying to tell me you fast. I'm like, all right, he got to run. Right? Like, I didn't think T Mac was fast. So I don't care if he runs. Like, I know people that
I
are
got
fast,
him over T Mac. I got him over T Mac. In fact.
people that, guys that are, okay. So, college coach said this. And he was like, guys that are fast, they want to show people that they're fast. You know what I mean? So if you
But
don't run,
you think he's slow though?
I don't think. I think it's underwhelming.
I think he would easily run a 4.48 easy. I think easy.
Um, I could see that, but I don't think that's gonna move the needle for him.
I don't think he need to move the needle. I mean, ain't he, didn't he make the record as like the all time producing receiver coming out of Ohio State or something like that? All time yardage leader, something like that, coming out of Ohio State.
I don't think so. I feel like I would know that, but
I heard something like that.
no.
I gotta look it up now. What the
So he didn't redshirt his freshman year, but he got a decent amount of play. It's just really hard to get a lot of playing time as a freshman at Ohio State, right? So no one really knocks him for that, even though Garrett Wilson did and JSN did and Jeremiah Smith did and Olave did. You see the point I'm making? Like all these really good receivers,
So he the all time reception leader at Ohio State.
receptions.
Yeah, yeah. So
All right, sure. Is
still
that
saying something.
huh?
I said still saying something.
I feel like you normally wouldn't care about that. All time receptions.
I mean, you know who all he played on side of. How is that not saying something?
That to me is saying that he had to stay more years than they did.
It's not like he a redshirt senior, though.
No, he's senior, yeah, for sure.
I
But
said he's not a redshirt
yeah,
senior.
I heard you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, can we just keep it real? Can we just say he's not as good as those guys? Can we just say that? Yeah, he's not. Like
I don't mind saying that.
He's not. He's not as
I
good
don't mind saying that.
He's not as good as Jameson Williams. People forget J-Mo was there. He's not as good as Jason. He's not as good as Marvin Harrison. He's not as good as a freshman on the team now, Jeremiah Smith. He's not as good as those guys. And I'm gonna give him the only one I'm giving them slack.
You named some extraordinary talent. All went in the first round.
Yeah, for sure. So
extraordinary talent.
Right. So when I don't have him in my top 5, because I think on average we see like 3 or 4 wide receivers go in the first round. So if I don't have him in my top 5, people looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm just like, he's not them. I think we're giving the Ohio State tax, or we're playing the logo. And we're
well, don't you do that? Well, I don't know about playing the logo, but don't you do that with Georgia backs? It's just like that. The ones that super exceed, of course, they're the elite. But if they don't, you got to give them props.
If you don't come in as a freshman and dominate at UGA, I give you a pass. Right? I'm giving him a pass that he didn't. He was never the number one. I'm giving him a pass that he didn't dominate early or produce early. Right? Those other guys I named, they still on the same team and they produced early and had to compete with each other for it and had to compete with him too.
So you don't think he would have been even better if he would have went to another organization, to Arizona, to Texas, to Missouri?
I think if he was on Arizona, he still would have got the floor mopped with him with T-Mac. He's just not as good as T-Mac. You watched them play, bro. Like you said yourself, like I like T-Mac tape.
Oh, because I like his film don't mean he gonna go to the NFL and be a producer. Then
Sure. I'm asking you, whose tape did you when you watched them play? Who do you?
I like all contested catchers tape. It looks good to watch. That shit don't translate to the NFL like that though. Looks good to watch.
It's important to have, like, you want to have a baseline. Like if you're talking about a wide receiver one, you want them to be over, 50% as far as like contested catches. You want to show that they can do that, right? That they can catch in traffic. Like that's important right now. If that's the only way you're making your living, like that's scary. That's dangerous, right? So I get that piece. I feel like with him, he's a system guy. If you have him in a slot and you relegate him to that role, he can do well. He can be worth a second, third round pick, right?
But he's not just a slot guy. Am I tripping? Oh no, he is a slot guy. Okay.
Yeah. And what Ohio State does with those great receivers we talked about, they line them up everywhere.
And I got him. I got that on his profile. I don't know why I was missing it. Mostly slots. So to me, he's just like Burden to me. You drop him on a team, hold my beer.
What's the difference between him and Burden? Burden ran.
Burden been him for
since he was 10 years old.
But at the same time, both of these guys coming in, both of these guys was ranked number 1 in their class, number 1 wide receiver.
Right.
So it's not both of them been him. One went to another, a lower program and just decided to do it.
The thing is, so with Missouri, they're probably in the toughest. And don't get it twisted. Like Missouri has some talent over there at wide receiver.
Who else over there?
One of them had transferred to UGA. Dominic Lovett. He was a slot receiver when.
Bird made his ass transfer then.
They both were productive. But here's what I'm saying. So
Lovett in this class, though, I bet he low on your list. But I will say, Oh boy's a sleeper.
Love
Love
it.
is a sleeper.
All right.
He's sleeper.
What I'm saying is, as a freshman, to go into almost any SEC program and put up the numbers he did is astounding, right? Like, because okay, maybe I don't have to go through Marvin Harrison and whoever else you want to name, the JSN, right? Maybe I don't have to fight them for targets, but I still got to compete against UGA DBs. I still got to compete against I don't know, just Alabama DBs to actually produce. Like, so for him to do that, it's like I don't ever want to compare him to Ibuka, because Ibuka is not going up against the same level. Like, the flaw in Ohio State is that, especially when it was only the Big Ten East that they had to see every year, they don't have to go up against Ohio State. Like, when you're the best team in your division by far, you're almost never seeing the best talent. You know what I mean? But if you go to Missouri and you're in the SEC East, you got to see UGA every year. So what do you do with that, right? Like, granted, they go against Penn State and Michigan and all that jazz, but he's not a super producer against those schools.
Which, I mean, we can go ahead and make this argument, but at the end of the day, both of us got Burden and Buka, so that's not the argument. The argument more so is Buka and McMillan, and McMillan is not going against no damn Alabama DB. So I need you to scale it back.
No,
Scale
still,
it back.
still a super producer though.
And if he would have been put in Ohio State, he would have transferred his ass out. His contested catching ass would have had to transfer out and go somewhere else and win with his contested catching ass.
So I'd rather that then, if that's how you feel,
Because he
because
wouldn't have been over there doing what he doing.
I would rather that. I'd rather him leave Ohio State and join Alabama and help a quarterback win a Heisman Trophy and get in the first round like Jameson Williams did, than to fight for this fucking first round draft cap. No, it's not. It
It's
wouldn't.
working. If he get drafted high second round, it's working. You know what I'm saying? Only person that fell flat on their face thoroughly was on old boy. I just thought he was gonna go to another school and do something. The man didn't even get invited to the damn combine this year. I'm like, just a damn disappointment. I mentioned him before. I forgot his name. I always forget his name. Um, Julian Fleming, disappointing ass.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. I don't understand. He had nothing but. it's- I'm not gonna say pretend like Penn State don't have any talent. Like, when you go over there, you still gotta compete with Tyler Warren, right, for targets. But like, come on, this your fifth year, bro. You was the number one wide receiver in the country coming out of high school because you ran fast and were big. Yeah, I'm with you.
But he
But
should have learned something at Ohio State. That's what killed me. You was there. You should have learned some skills. It should have. It should have. You should have been able to go over to Penn State and handle your business. That just blew my mind. I just can't believe it.